What is going on YouTube? Listen, I hope everyone is all well and good. I hope you guys are enjoying the winter, all wrapped up, and you're all feeling blessed. I just want to say super big thanks to following the videos. Today I've got a really cool video for you guys where I'm going to be looking at 5 essential items. It's 5 winter essentials that you guys could be looking at to help you stay warm this winter season, okay? Now, a lot of followers ask what type of items they should be looking for around the summertime. A lot of people are looking for inspiration on different types of clothing, and I've selected 5 different pieces of items that I think will be essential for most people's wardrobes, definitely for my wardrobe during the winter time, to help you stay warm, snuggly, cozy, comfortable. You know how it is. Here in the UK, I think guys love layering up. So I want to go through these different items, 5 different essentials that you guys can try, hopefully give you guys some inspiration for your wardrobe for the future coming winter months ahead. Without further ado, I want to get straight into it. All of the items that I show in this video will be available from Louisa V Aroma. So if you want to check those guys out, make sure to go ahead and do that. They're currently doing 40% off selected items. So if you go ahead to the description box below, you will see a code there that will give you 40% off selected items, okay? Now, the first item I would definitely say for an essential winter selection is definitely parka jackets. Parka jackets are typically longer coats. They can usually go from like hip length to lower than hip length as well. They usually come with hoods, usually well insulated with either synthetic down, or they can also come with feather down insulation inside. Sometimes the trim of the hoods can be fur, although fur is not popular at the moment, so a lot of brands are losing fur like Canada Goose and Moose Knuckles. Clearly, what you'll find with parka jackets is that they're quite thick and they can also be quite thin as well. So nowadays there's so many different types of parka jackets available, but I definitely recommend parka jackets as part of an essential collection. Decent parka jackets can actually start from £150. I have done videos showcasing parka jackets on more of a budget. They can go right up to £1,000 plus. Now, some good parka jackets I would definitely recommend are brands like Moose Knuckles. Belstaff do some nice parka jackets, but you can also find parka jackets, as I said, at a much lower cost as well. So you definitely don't need to go all high end to get yourself a decent parka jacket. Lower end of the scale, I would say North Face are definitely a good way to go. North Face do some really good parka jackets which are down insulated, very warm. With parka jackets you can also get water resistant as well. You can get waterproof parka jackets, but there are not many. But to be honest with you, I really don't think you need to go ahead and get a waterproof parka jacket. I think a high water resistant parka jacket is absolutely fine for UK weather. Some of the higher end parka jackets sometimes do not come with water resistance, so it's good to double check to see that the jacket you are looking at is water resistant. That is definitely something that I do recommend. The second essentials for guys, I would say, is to have a good selection of sweaters and knits. Now, I'm definitely a sweaters and knits guy. If you've watched my video, I love my sweaters. I tend to have quite a lot of different selection of those, okay? Now, I would recommend that you go ahead and have a different selection. Again, you can go from different budgets. You can literally get sweaters from like £30 ranging up to £500. And again, you do not need to spend big money on sweaters to really get that really good quality. Now, sweaters and knits can come in various different styles. You can have crew necks, V-necks, you can have half zip sweaters. Also, you can have roll necks as well, but they can also come with a various thickness to them as well. And definitely I would recommend having a various amount of sweaters that have a different thickness to them. So for example, sometimes you might have a thick chunky sweater and you might layer that underneath and you might not have such a heavy jacket on top. But if you want to go for something like a parka, let's say for a Canada Goose or a Moose Knuckles for example, then I would definitely say go for something that's more of a lighter knit or sweat underneath. Now, you can get sweaters that are actually quite thin but can still retain the heat within your body, but they're just a little bit more thin, okay? Actually, Canada Goose and Moose Knuckles do recommend that you don't have to kind of layer so heavily underneath these parka jackets because they are that warm. It's all about kind of finding the right style for you, whether you like roll necks or crew necks. I don't tend to have too many thin knits, but I have started to add more thin sweaters and knits to my collection because I've realized that actually when you're wearing a lot of these heavy parkas, that you do not want to be wearing a thick chunky knit underneath because you're just going to be sweating all day long and it's just not a good look. Now, the third men's essential that I would definitely recommend is scarves. Now, personally, me, I love scarves. Scarves are one of my favorite things, one of my favorite accessories for men, but I do acknowledge acknowledge that not everybody likes scarves. They're not for everyone, but you know what? I think they're one of those essentials that they're just kind of worth having around, because sometimes that weather can get really cold and you just really want to protect your neck. But not only that, I think scarves can be really quite cool. You can wear them in so many different types of ways, lots of different styles as well. So I tend to go for the more oversized, kind of big, chunky scarves. I've got this thing about big, chunky, I don't know what it is, but knits, sweaters, hats, all this type of stuff, I just like that style. So snoods are really good as well. So snoods are like circles. You kind of have to put it over your head, but they're like a circular knit scarf. So they don't traditionally, they don't hang over your neck traditionally like a normal scarf, but definitely snoods are something that I think is really good. Now, the fourth winter essential for guys, I would definitely say is gloves. I've got a love-hate relationship with gloves, and I think a lot of the reasons why people don't love gloves sometimes is because they're just not so functional, especially now we're always on our mobile phones, and the mobile phones are touch screens, and a lot of gloves you're not able to kind of operate your phone. But look, there's lots of different options out there as well. There's things like mitts where they kind of go over your hands, but some of them now you can kind of like take the top off and then your hands are revealed. Fingerless gloves, and sometimes you even get gloves now which have like the touch sensitive tips, which means you can still wear your gloves and then you can still touch your touchscreen devices and they work absolutely fine. So you can get like big, thick thermal gloves, or you can get more thin kind of knitted gloves, which I tend to like as well. But I also like mitts where the top can come off. If I'm traveling or I'm going somewhere far or I'm going on vacation and I know it's going to be like winter time over there, then I would typically have gloves, because I know that I'm not going to be on my phone as much. I'm going to be more walking around, doing a lot of sightseeing. So in that situation, I might tend to have more thicker gloves. If I'm just kind of like local, I'm just popping to the shops, or I know I'm just going to be around the area, then I might just tend to have like fingerless gloves so my hands are still exposed, because I know I'm going to be doing a lot of different things, jumping in and out of the car, doing shopping. Now, my last essential winter wear item is definitely going to be, what was it again? Hats. Yeah, hats. I knew that. It was definitely going to be hats. Beanie hats, trapper hats, baseball caps, hats. I just love hats. I've got a lot of Stone Island hats, from the ones with the badge, the old school ones that people love. I've got Canada Goose trapper hats. I love hats. I actually collect hats. You can get beanie hats that have the big bubble on the top. I actually like those. I think they're quite cool. You can get hats that are a little bit more oversized and that can tilt back on your head a little bit more. But I tend to like the beanie hats which are a little bit more fitted but slightly chunky. I do tend to go for more kind of like wool material hats, because I just think they just keep me more warm. Definitely something I think that you should just kind of like try on to make sure it kind of fits your head the way that you want it, and it's kind of like snug and it's got that fit. I don't tend to like oversized hats too much, or that hats that just kind of make my head look big or look a little bit funny. So it's all about kind of playing around with your style and seeing what fits you. So that's it for the video, guys. I hope you found some inspiration for the different types of winter essential items that you guys can look ahead for the winter and for the future coming winter months. I get stuff like this on all different budgets, from lower costs right up to more of like the higher end stuff as well. So it's really down to you how you want to mix it up. You don't need to go ahead and spend tons of money on this stuff. You can literally spend like a much more of a lower budget and still kind of get the quality and the performance that you want out of these different items. Guys, listen, I'm out of here. I've got lots more videos coming before the Christmas time, so make sure you stay tuned for it, okay? Peace.